start, it is an opportunity for us to know about the scientist and what is their childhood, what was his childhood and education of a Nobel laureate, so that he could really think. When I discuss about Raman and Raman's life and then the Raman effect, so we'll start with the first slide. Raman said, I propose this evening to speak to you on a new kind of radiation of light emission from atoms and molecules. Please, I will read it again. I propose this evening to speak to you on a new kind of radiation of light, which is emitted from atoms and molecules. With these prophetic words, Professor C.V. Raman of Calcutta University began his lecture to the South Indians Association in Bangalore on March 16, 1928. It was at Central College, Bangalore.
Where
Raman
sir
proceeded
studied.
to hello.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Raman proceeded to describe a discovery that resulted from an easy and a simple experiment. It was not the Harvard University, it was not the Stanford University or any other famous university in the West. It was a university, or not even university, a Indian cultivation of science is a center where some hobby research was done and conducted from far from these great centers. The results were these results were got by Professor C.V. Raman and made they call the attention of all the scientists around the world and bring many laurels to him, and including the Nobel Prize for his discovery. Let us see the biography of Sir C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman was born into a Hindu family to Chandrasekhar Ramanathan Iyer and Parvati Ammal on 7th November 1888 at Thiruvannakoil, Madras Presidency. At that time, the India was still not had the freedom, so this was called as Madras Presidency and Andhra Presidency. Like that, they had divided the entire country, and this division was done by the Britishers. And once the child was born, according to Hindu tradition, Raman was originally named as Venkat Raman. Now all of us will say Sankata Bandaka Venkat Ramana. That Venkat Ramana is what was the name of Raman. But and of course, it was preceded by the initial of his father's first name, Chandrasekhara. In school, his name was split into C. Venkata Raman. C is, of course, his father's name. His name was Venkata Ramana. It became Venkata and Raman. So that's how he became C.V. Raman. Raman's father was a lecturer who taught mathematics and physics in Mrs. A.V. Narasimha Rao College, Visakhapatnam in the Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. At an early age, Raman moved to the city of Visakhapatnam and studied at St. Aloysius Anglo-Indian High School. Raman passed his matriculation at the age of 11. See, at the age of 11, what we will be doing and what Raman was doing. And he passed his FA examination. This is equivalent to PU at the age of 13. So Raman had a profound knowledge of physics and mathematics due to his father, because father and mother both were Sanskrit scholars, and father was also a teacher of physics and mathematics. What is the type of background Raman would have got? Raman exhibited a precocious nature at a very early age. I would say he was a child prodigy. Later, Raman's father worked at Presidency College, Madras. In 1902, Raman joined the Presidency College in Madras and he did his Bachelor of Arts examination of University of Madras at the age of 16. See, at that time, there is nothing like BA, BSc. That type of division was not there. And even the science degree was called as Bachelor of Arts in Physics. That's how it used to be named. Then he stood first and won the gold medal in physics in the Bachelor of Arts. In 1997, he gained the, just excuse me, just can you just go back? Yeah, right. Yeah. So he in 1907 he gained his Master of Science degree with the higher distinction from University of Madras. Immediately after getting his master's, while studying his MA degree, he published his research paper in Philosophical Magazine at the age of 18. At the age of 18, we'll be doing PUC, whereas Raman had already published a paper at the age of 18. It was first research paper ever published from the Presidency College. Of course, he was supposed to go to England for further education. Due to his poor health, he was unable to go. So then, what is the next option possible? In 1907, he thought, I will take up a job. So he passed the financial civil service examination. And then at the same time, he got married to Lokasundari Ammal. Once he became a civil servant, civil service examination, so he became a civil servant, posted to Calcutta as Assistant Accountant General. So shortly after arriving at Calcutta, Raman saw that there was this Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, which is only a evening club sort of thing, where people used to come and discuss physics and think of some new experiments and things like that. This is specifically was for science. And it was not an institute at that time. Today it is a very famous institute. If you see the Calcutta, the institutes in Calcutta, you will see that IACS is one of the famous institutes today. So in the first 10 years, working almost alone, he published 27 research papers and led the IACS to become a recognized, vibrant research institute. Till that time, IACS was nothing. It was only a club with some discussion of science. And when Raman joined this club, he published 27 papers all alone. And that is how the IACS became a recognized, vibrant institute. Normally, I would say I am working at IASC. So the IASC is the pride and I am only a part of it. Here it was the other way. Raman was at IACS and it is IACS got the name because of Raman. Much of this early work was done on vibrations. See, Raman was very much interested in the musical instruments and all the theory of vibrations, he worked on the musical instruments. I will come to this little later. So then he is a civil service position. What he will be shifted to different places. He had the postings at Rangoon and Nagpur. He returned to Calcutta again back and took up a residence. And when he chose the residence, he decided that he will choose the residence which is very close to the IACS, and he constructed a door that led directly into the institute. So he could access the institute at any point of time and do his research. So that's how he went on doing his research. He received the research prizes in 1912 and 1913, even when he was a full-time civil servant. He was not a scientist at all by that time. He had published so many papers and got the research prizes. Then he increased the reputation of IACS with his extensive lectures. And people used to attend these lectures because it is lectures on popular science. He was holding all the audience spellbound with his booming voice, lively demonstrations, superb diction, and rich humor. At the age of 29, he resigned his civil service job. Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee, Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University, offered him the Polit Chair professorship. Once he got this professorship, he thought he will not continue as a civil servant. He continued to lecture even then, and it was not required. Actually, it was not required that as a Polit Chair professorship, he need not have to deliver any lectures, but he used to do it so that the IACS will become a research arm of the university. By the time of his first visit to England in 1921, he was already a reputed scientist in physics and was well known all over the world. 3 years later, he was elected as a fellow of the Royal Society, which is already a big honor for a physics person. Then, the same year, 1921, he went to United States and spent some time in Caltech, which is California Institute of Technology, through the invitation of Nobel laureate Robert Millikan. I suppose all of you recall who is Robert Millikan. You know the Millikan oil drop experiment, finding the specific charge of the electron. He worked with him for 4 months. So the important thing is that educated entirely in India, C.V. Raman made his first trip to London in 1921, where his reputation in the study of optics and especially as acoustics was already known to the English physicists. J.J. Thomson, Lord Rutherford, you know J.J. Thomson was the person who had found the elementary particle electron. And Lord Rutherford had just then found what is the structure of the nucleus and how small the nucleus was, and totally giving the picture of an atom. So they were able to recognize Professor C.V. Raman, and they gave him a warm reception. Raman's specialty has been only on the vibrations and sounds of the stringed instruments, that is actually violin, Indian veena, and tambura, those type of instruments. And also 2 uniquely Indian percussion instruments, the tabla and mridanga.
Sir,
I'll give you a simple example at this point.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir. Yeah, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಸರ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
Okay, fine. Right. So I will go to escape. Okay, you have to. Yeah, I am doing it. Wait.
Yeah.
Just you have to reshare it.
Record.
See, this problem here, I told that it will be there.